Hey, wherever you are, however you may be listening, we are live coming directly from Washington, D.C. We are live. My name is Hassan Riggs, and I'm excited to be here with you today. We got a great show, and um, I, I'm gonna, I'm actually gonna hop right in. Um, Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. I'm going to hop right in. I'm trying different times, right? I'm streaming directly to the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind Group. It is 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's going on, Will? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. And so that kind of reminds me, if you are watching this live through the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind Group, make sure you click that link up top that says I'm broadcasting with Ecamm Live because it allows me to see who you are. And then when you comment, I can see you, I can see your face, I can interact with you, I can engage. What's going on, Wes? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you today. So my name is Hassan Riggs, founder, CEO at Smart Alto, and you're listening to Two Cents. And in Two Cents is where I share my 2 cents about real estate marketing, real estate conversion, a lot of cool stuff that I've learned over the past couple of years, and excited to share that with you today. I'm going to go ahead and hop in because I got a call and 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 not too long from now. What's going on, Chuck? How you doing, buddy? Um, so I'm going to share my screen because today we are talking about cancel. We're talking about how to get a response from online leads. And so the reason this is important is because oftentimes, like one of the questions that I get all the time, man. In fact, if you join the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind group, is I ask you three questions when you join that group. Number one, were you generating leads? Number two, what's your biggest challenge with follow up? And number three is like, do you want some like gift? Then you got to enter your email address if you want the gift, right? But the second question is the one that's really important. It's what's your biggest challenge with follow up? And there are three like big things that people say. Number one, they don't have the time. Number two, they're inconsistent with follow up. But number three is actually the most frequent, and it's people aren't responding to me. I call, I text, I email, I send them postcards, I do all this stuff, and people aren't responding to me and they don't know why. And so in this video, this really short video, I'm going to share with you how to get a response from your online leads. Because your first goal is not to set an appointment. So at Smart Alto, we for our clients, we set 15-minute phone appointments. We put those phone appointments on their calendar, right? We got access to your calendar. We'll put a 15-minute phone appointment on your calendar. Well, that's not the first goal. The first goal is to actually start a conversation with people because this is a relationship driven business. And if you can't start a conversation with people, then you're screwed because you never have an opportunity to let your EQ, your emotional intelligence, take over to where you know what to say, when to say it, how to say it in order to move the conversation along. You're human. You don't have to have everything perfect, but you got to start the conversation. When the conversation starts, it's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay if you screw up. You're human. People get that. This is all happening through text message with us, right? With you. Even when you're on the phone talking to people, it's perfectly okay. But what you can't do is ask people questions and then sit back and get no response and wonder why you're not getting a response, but then never actually try to do something to improve it. And so I'm going to share with you how to get a response from your online leads. And most of the time, it's just a couple of different things you got to learn in order to get that response and then ultimately set the appointment. So again, my name is Hassan Riggs, founder, CEO at Smart Alto. I'm a contributor for Forbes, where I write about real estate marketing, real estate technology trends, how to set appointments through text message and website chat. I'm a speaker at Inman, speaker at NAR. I've used to be an ISA. I've set over 10,000 real estate appointments. I say that not to impress you, but just to impress upon you that you're in really good hands today. Because I know a lot of you know me, but then there are a lot of people who don't know me because you may be watching this later. One of my favorite quotes, I say this all the time: if you're still doing business today the way you did a few years ago, I've got two words for you: Radio Shack. I got two more words for you: blockbuster. Right? Because you need to grow, evolve, adapt, learn, grow, evolve, adapt, learn, grow, evolve, adapt, learn, change. And if you're not growing, evolving, adapting, learning, and changing, then you're ultimately being stale, you're stagnating, and you're not going to get the results that you need to get. So, if you are in the real estate marketing mastermind group, then you should see. Yesterday or a couple of days ago, I created these learning units, and I was talking to my buddy Will about this just last night. because he runs a really popular Facebook group too about creating these learning units. And so these learning units that I have created is where it's basically making it easier for you to find content that I've created over the past year or so. This is still a relatively new group, but I've created so much content, man, on conversion, marketing, mindset, case studies. I've hosted people. I've hosted a lot of folks: Steve Jolly, C.J. Evans, Rob West, Sheila Z. I've hosted a lot of people, and I also post content on these four topics. And so, if you go to the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind group and you click on units, then you can see the units that I've put in there. I just created this a couple of days ago. I'm continuing to add stuff here, and so it's still a lot of content in there, but it's relatively new. So kind of bear with me on that as I continue to add stuff to that group. Um, I mean, to those units, and you'll see. So just to kind of give you a highlight, you'll see how to convert leads with the Bantar principle. If you know me, if you've heard anything that I've spoken about, then you know what I say when I say the Bantar principle. Who out there knows what the Bantar principle means? Who knows what Bantar stands for? I would love it if you know what Bantar stands for. Hey, Brandy, what's going on? Keith, uh, Giselle, what's going on? Hey, how you doing, Giselle? It's good to see you. Or good that you're here. I can't see you obviously. I see your picture though. Be great. Tell me what the Bentar principle means. You get like a gold star for the day. How many? How to get leads to the lender with CJ Evans. CJ, really young guy down in Atlanta, Georgia, went from $0 to $2 million per month in sales in like 18 to 24 months. Superstar How Fred McGill went from 0 to 250 homes sold in 3 years. He's also in Atlanta. Branding and marketing with super agent Sheila Z. How Rod West made 14K in 10 days with old leads. Digital marketing tools and systems with Steve Jolly. How to get 90% appointment show up rate. So much stuff that I talk about in those units. And I'm taking a moment to mention that now because I just created those units a couple of days ago, and I want to see how many people are actually using them. If people aren't using them, I'm going to stop adding content to it because it kind of sucks to add the content to it. And like think about structuring the content. I'm going to stop if people aren't using it. So if you like it, then let me know because I'll continue doing it. Right. Um, what we spoke about last time is the Fortune framework. Um, this Fortune framework, you can think about this as a business audit. I don't care if you're brand new to the business or you've been in the business 18 years and you're super successful, you fit into one of these buckets right here. And I talk about that in a recent Facebook Live, the Fortune framework, ultimately where you fit and then how to move to the next level so you can grow your business 15, 20%, 30%, double your business. You can grow 100%. It's quite literally what we use in our business to grow and what we've helped other agents do to grow. Talked about the D3. You need the desire, direction, and discipline. Right, the desire is your, I mean, the desire is your goal, direction is your strategy, discipline is your metric. So at Smart Alto, our goal is to set 15-minute phone appointments for you. The strategy we use is the Bantar principle, and then the discipline, are we winning or losing? Is ultimately, are we setting 15-minute phone appointments on your calendar, and are we saving you time by marking people as dead because you don't need to follow up? And I see no one has put in there that they know what the Bantar principle stands for. Um, so I'm going to talk about that now. I'm actually kind of surprised because I know some of these folks here. I know Giselle, I know Wes, I know Chuck, I know Will. Some people here I don't know. Um, but I know some people here. I'm surprised that no one has said they know what the Bentar principle stands for. So Bentar, um, this is the Bentar principle. Again, we, yep, budget. I'm not sure who said that, but yep, the B stands for budget. Um, so we want to figure out their budget, 150K, 3 million. Where do the people kind of land on this? Authority, is the person that we're talking to a decision maker in the process? Or is it just someone who can maybe possibly influence the decision? Need, you want to figure out their needs, wants, and expectations. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 5 bedroom, 7 bath. They need a house with a dog, with a kid, in a great neighborhood, right? They need all that stuff. Timeline, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years. When are they looking to buy? Helps you prioritize that person in your mind. A stands for area. What area are they in? Like Winter Park, or are they in Tampa, Chuck? I don't know. Like, can you help that person? R stands for relationship. Relationship with an agent, relationship with the lender. If they don't have a relationship with the lender, they haven't been pre-approved. If they already have a relationship with an agent, a signed buyer's agreement, then you can't help them anyway. Let me just double tap on this for a second. Just because someone knows an agent doesn't mean they're 100% committed to that agent. Like, everybody knows an agent. That doesn't mean they're going to work with them, right? Like, because your friend from high school is an agent, like, what does that mean? That you could still work with that person. They're not 100% committed to that. And this is even true the higher you go up in value. So when you start getting into like luxury properties, people want folks who know their game, not just people I'm associates with or familiar with. I want people who I know can do the job. So, phone appointments, this is how it looks when Smart Alto puts phone appointments on your calendar. That's one for Lisa, that's one for Daniel, that's one for Sanjita. And what happens is, we also talked about recently how to get these people to show up to your appointment when you set it, right? So these are all things that we've talked about over the past couple of weeks that I'm just familiarizing you with again. You can go watch the entire presentation in the learning units, which I just shared with you. But how to get people to show up? You see Amber here. I don't know if you're there today, Amber. Hey, if you are, say what's up. It'll be great to chat with you. So Amber, so Joe Bryan said, "Hey Hassan, you set these appointments for people. What percentage of people show up?" And I always say 90% of people show up to the appointment if you do two things that I'm about to share with you. Two things. You got to do these two things to get this 90% appointment rate. Amber said, "Hey, Joe, I don't know the overall s- percentage, but in a week and a half, we've had success with 8 of 9 people keeping their appointment. That's 90%, right? I went to some fancy schools, but I'm not a mathematician, right? But I could do simple mathematics. That's 90% of people who are showing up. Amber does these two things. Number one, when she sets the appointment on her calendar, she upgrades to the $10 per month package and then sends people a text message reminder. So it boggles my mind how many people will generate a lead, pay Smart Alto to follow up with the lead, but then don't want to pay $10 a month in order to make sure that person shows up so you can get on the phone with them and allow your EQ to take over, right? You want your EQ to take over. There's a lot of folks out there who I know. Chuck has really high EQ. Um, Wes has really high EQ. I know that for a fact. I know some of these folks. Will Smith has really high EQ, so you can allow your EQ, your emotional intelligence, to take over. And now that you're on the phone with them, if you can get on the phone with a person, more than likely you're going to be able to work with them. If you can get on the phone with them and help them take that next step, especially get that face-to-face appointment, you're going to work with them because 80% of home buyers don't shop around. They don't go from agent to agent. They work with the very first person they meet. They don't shop around. So you got to meet that person face to face. But the first step is actually getting them on the phone. And so sending these text message reminders to folks tremendously increases the likelihood that you're going to get on the phone with them. The second strategy that I talk about is if people don't show up to the call, then what you want to do is take a screenshot of that appointment and send them a text message and say, hey, Brandy, are we still on for our 12 o'clock call today that you scheduled with my team, um, that you scheduled with me? And you quite literally send them a screenshot of this. You see how I just put your name in there, Brandy? I saw you just showed up. Hey, great to see you. So this is like quite literally, I have an entire Facebook Live on how to do this. You should do this. I'm gonna stop talking about that because let's kind of continue to dive in. Okay, so what we're going to learn today, we're going to learn a couple good things today. The psychology of the online home buyer and what they expect from you and from everyone else, right? Remember, this is the psychology of the buyer, how to get into their mind, how to frame this person in your mind so that you can know how you need to communicate with them so you can get greater response rates. We're going to talk about why your calls, emails, and text messages are being ignored and really bad first questions to ask. I'm going to share some examples of some bad first questions, some stuff that you should not do that we've seen people do that you should not do. Stay away from this. If you are doing this, don't worry about it. I'm telling you what to do in order to approve it. in order to improve it. But these are really bad first questions to ask, and you're going to tell me why they're bad first questions, and then I'm going to share with you why. How to get a response from online leads, and a great first question to ask, and then Ren Nix, um, a case study from 2 days ago. I just met Ren like 2 days ago, so I'm friendly with her, but I don't know her. We had a conversation, right, like 2 days ago, um, and yeah, I'm going to talk to you about that. So the psychology of the home buyer. You need to think about the toddler, the middle child, and the granny. This is so funny when I'm thinking about this. Let me take a break. I gotta drink some water. Mm. Authority, need. Yes, that's right. Timeline. That's right. Ray said he have it written down, but that would be cheating. Yes, Ray, that would be cheating. That would be cheating. Um, so by the way, tell me, so everyone put in the comments where you from? Where do you work? It will be great for you all to get to know one another so you can potentially share business back and forth. People are relocating. I know Chuck is down in Orlando area. Giselle, you're out in California, I believe. Will, you're in the DC area. Wes, where are you at? Wes, I don't know why. I feel like I've asked you that before. Where are you at, Wes? Ray, where are you? Um, Courtney, you're in Hampton Roads. Oh, sure, you're Virginia girl. Great. Courtney, did you grow up in Virginia? I'm in the Washington D.C. area. Susie, what's up? Susie, everyone needs to know Susie. She's a freaking rock star. If y'all don't know her, you should. And Susie, I want to do a Facebook Live with you to talk about video. I want to do a Facebook Live with you, Susie, to talk about video. I'm going to message you about that, and I'm going to harass you until you say yes, because you got a lot of good stuff to share about video. I follow you online. So you need to think about the toddler, the middle child, and the granny when thinking about the psychology of the home buyer. What am I talking about? The toddler. The toddler is impatient. We live in a society where people want what they want when they want it. And most of the time it's now, because you're not just competing with the agent down the street, you're competing with the experience that other companies give them. Amazon, Uber, Amazon has like freaking next day shipping, shipped, have same day shipping. You can go online and get groceries delivered to your house the same day. You can literally go from your phone and order groceries at the grocery store and have them delivered to your house the same day. I know the guy who started Shipped. I know the people who started Instacart. They deliver groceries to your house the same day. Amazon is like next day shipping. They have put millions of dollars into this. Uber, you can literally order a car to come get you on demand. That's the experience that you're competing with. That's the experience that people expect when doing business with folks. That's the experience you expect. And so you have to work to deliver that because people are impatient. Online leads go cold within 5 minutes. Meaning, if you don't follow up with that lead with a personalized message within 5 minutes, the chances of you connecting with that person decrease to almost zero. It falls through the freaking floor because people move on. They move on. They're distracted. Who all has a toddler? Who all has kids out there? Um, Susie, you have kids. Think about when your kid was a toddler. Um, Wes, don't know. Do you have children? Think about when your kid was a toddler. When they could start walking, they were gone. They are distracted. They're everywhere. They're distracted. They have their phone in their hand, and although this phone has connected us to the world, it has deconnected us or disconnected us from individual relationships with people. That's why you have so many people who are feeling lonely because they're connected to the world, but they are disconnected from the human relationship. And so you need to respond to these people with a personalized message within 5 minutes, or they are gone. They're distracted, they're gone. Leads go cold. So you need to follow up with them fast. Think about the toddler. Think about the middle child who always feels ignored. You're never really paying attention to me. That's because 50% of buyers online never get a response at all. So when people go to Zillow, when people fill out your list of homes Facebook ad, most 50% of the time they don't get a response at all. No one follows up with those home buyers. No one follows up with them. So they feel ignored, they feel left out, they feel like you're not going to follow up with them. They feel like they're not going to get a response. And then the other 50% of the time, they're getting bombarded with people calling them and robocalls and automated calls and spam calls and email. They're getting bombarded. You have all of this technology, and I run a technology company, and as we are high tech, we can't forget to also be high touch. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second while I drink some water. As we are high tech, in this high tech world, we can't forget to also be high touch because people are feeling lonely. This is the psychology of the home buyer. These are the people who you're marketing to. They're busy, they're distracted, they have kids. Kids come home from school, kids need to get off to school. They're at work, they're driving, they're on Facebook, they're feeling lonely, disconnected from folks, and they want things that are simple. They want to talk to you on their terms. They don't want to talk to you on your terms. They want to talk to you on their terms. They want to talk to you when they're ready. This is the instant gratification world. You have to make things so simple that folks could respond, that Granny from her iPhone could have a conversation with you. And oftentimes, the barrier to entry is so high that people just get overwhelmed and they're like, wow, I'm just not going to respond to this person because it's just so much they're asking me for. And we're going to talk about that in a second. You're going to see how that comes into play. Because what you haven't realized is that buyers don't care about your circumstance. The market doesn't care that you're busy. The market doesn't care that you're sick. The market doesn't care. Buyers don't care that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. They don't care that your toddler is sick, that you are having a bad day, that something is wrong with you. They're not thinking about you, they're thinking about them. As humans, we are selfish people. We are self centered people. We don't think about others first. We normally think about ourselves first. That's why the people who do think about others first, you notice them, right? You notice them because they're great at taking you from transactional to relational. They're great at EQ. They have really high EQ. They focus on you. They're able to make you feel like you are important. That's so rare in today's day and age. So when you come across a person like that, you're like, crap, you make me feel special. But people aren't sitting around wondering about your circumstance. They're thinking about their circumstance, the problems they have, the issues they have, what they want, the instant gratification they need. You also have more spam calls and than ever before, and lower email open rates than ever before. When I was growing up, we had a computer. I tell this story all the time. We had a computer, and my mom gave me an email address, and there was no such thing as spam, right? Every single email I got, it doesn't matter who it was from, I opened the email. When I first got my cell phone, doesn't matter who called, I answered the phone. Now you can go into the Facebook group and I posted an image. I don't think I have it on my phone now, but I posted an image. I get all these spam calls now. My phone provider apparently is Verizon. Chuck, I think you said something about this. Chuck, you said that maybe it's T-Mobile, I think. T-Mobile started doing this like 4 years ago. But Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, when someone robocalls you, it says spam on your phone, like possible spam. It shows up. You have all of these robocalls that are happening. So you're inundated with all these chatbots and robocalls and all this stuff, and people ultimately just stop responding. They're like, crap, screw it. Screw it. I don't want to deal with it. You're too slow and inconsistent. I'm sorry. You are. You're slow and you're inconsistent. You don't follow up fast, and when you do follow up, you don't follow up often enough. Now, the reality is, it's probably because you're busy. It's probably because you're out closing deals. It's probably because you're showing homes. hopefully using showing time. Hopefully using showing time. It's probably because you're actually doing really important stuff, but the home buyer doesn't care what you're doing. They don't care. They want you to respond to them now or when they want to, right? And so you're too slow and you're too inconsistent with your follow up because you're doing all this stuff and you ask for too much too early. You force people to overthink. You force people to ponder these psychological questions like what by asking them what do you want in your dream home. They're like, oh, all this stuff, how can I possibly answer that question? Oh, let me sit down and think about it and list the 1000 things that I want in my dream home. It's too big of a question to start a conversation. It's too big. So you force people to overthink and you ask for commitments that are just way too big. So these are some bad first questions. So when you get a new online lead and you ask people these questions, you're not going to get a response. And if you do, you just struck gold. What do you want in your dream home? I want you to think about why are these bad questions? That's literally the next slide that I have, right? So think about why are these bad questions and put it in the chat. Why do you think these are bad questions? Comment on these and we're going to have a conversation about this because I really want you to get value from it because if you can understand what a bad question looks like, what a good question looks like, you're going to be able to take control over your marketing and your communication with online leads and improve your response drastically, ultimately setting more appointments, close more deals. What do you want in a dream home? Why is that a bad first question to ask someone? I'm not saying it's a bad question to ask. It's a bad first question to ask. How may I help you? How may I help you? Why is that a bad first question? Can you come to my office for a buyer's consultation? Why is that a bad first question? What's your budget? Why is that a bad first question? So Wes said you need to slow the conversation down, wine and dine them. You haven't built rapport yet. Why is that a Brandy? Why is this a bad first question? Courtney, why is asking people the first question, new online lead comes on. They respond to your list of homes and you ask them, "Hey, what's your budget?" Why is that a bad first question? But so Deborah said the budget question is getting very personal to quit buyers consult means commitment when you even haven't met. We want yes answers. What's your budget? Have you been pre-approved? Why is that a bad first question? Will Smith, you out there, I'm wondering, what do you think? Why is that a bad first question to ask? Why are these bad first questions? All these questions have something in common. Why are they bad? Why are they not good? I want to tell you why they're not good. So Chuck said, dream home, too broad of a question. You need to know their needs and then help them narrow down to specific to realistic expectations. All those, everything that people said, they're good answers. They're good answers. They're not the answer though. They're not the answer. The reason these are bad first questions, again, these are not bad questions. Not bad questions. You can rephrase all these questions. Like I wouldn't ask people what's your when I was in ISA, I never asked people what's your budget. I will always ask them what price range are you looking in? What price range are you looking in? That's a great way to reframe that question. But even what price range are you looking in is still a bad first question. What the reason these are bad first questions is because they all force people to think too much before they answer. The answers force people to think. When you ask someone, what do you want in a dream home? Wow, what do I want in a dream home? Let me list the 1000 things I want. How may I help you? There's a million ways you can help me. There's two, I have to think too much. I have to do too much work in order to answer your question. It's too much, man. Are you asking me to do too much? I don't want to think. People don't want to think. They want to react and respond. That's it. They want to react and respond. They don't want to think. Have you been pre approved? That's a bad question because it's way too personal too quickly. Way too personal too quickly. It makes the budget question and the pre-approval question makes me think that you're qualifying me. You need to qualify people without them knowing you're qualifying them. You just need to have conversations with people. When I ask you, have you been pre-approved? It's a bad first question. You're way too personal too quickly. And I feel like based upon the answer that I give you is going to determine whether or not you continue the conversation with me. It's like walking up to someone and the very first thing that this is why most people hate networking because it's so value like grabbing because you walk up to a person and you say, "Hey, what do you do?" And if I tell you I'm a lawyer or a doctor, now you want to have a conversation. But if I tell you I'm a janitor, now you're like, let me go talk to somebody more interesting who has a better job, who whatever. It's too gimmicky. It's all bad first questions. You need to ask questions that are so brain dead simple that people can freaking make a mistake and get it right. They can make an error and still get it right. That granny can answer it on her iPhone in the dark at 2 o'clock in the morning. You need to ask questions that just start a conversation. You need to lower the barrier to entry. The harder the question that you ask, the more difficult, the more broad the question that you ask, the more letters it takes for them to type out and answer your question, the more friction you put in the process. The more friction you put in the process, the lower response you're going to get. That's why those are bad first questions. So now I'm going to tell you how to get leads to respond to you. We all know that people are not answering phones the way they used to. They're not responding to emails the way they used to. But chat is really where it's at. Text messaging, people are walking around with their phones, they're text messaging. Chat is where it's at. And so, with that said, you need ATF. You need to always text first. ATF, always text first. Real estate is still a on the phone and in person game. You got to be good on the phone. You got to be great in person, especially when you're trying to get that listing appointment. You got to be good on the phone. You got to be great in person. But text is the best way to get on the phone. Text is the best way to ultimately get on the phone and then get in person. So you need ATF. You need to always text first. You need to consider the psychological triggers: commitment and consistency. Commitment and consistency. If I walk up, if I'm single and Giselle, I think you're single, you're here. If I walk up to you, if ATF, if we meet, you live in California, don't you, Giselle? If we meet at some bar in California and I walk up to you and I say, "Oh my goodness, you're beautiful. Will you marry me today?" You're gonna think, this guy's a creep. And you're gonna run, you're gonna bolt, you're gonna get out of there because I'm asking for too much of a commitment too early. And so when you're trying to get leads to respond, you need to think about this psychological trigger: CNC, commitment and consistency, micro commitments. Relationships are built on micro commitments. Relationships, the world is built on micro commitments. You need to start really, really small, start small, get people to commit to you, and then build upon that commitment. It's a micro commitment. So, how does this play out? Well, I have a whole Facebook Live actually that talks about this psychological framework, micro commitments. But think about it as when when we grow up, we're all taught by our parents: never give up, stick to it, follow through, Be consistent, be dependable, be rational, be logical. You don't tell your kids, give up anytime you don't want to do something. Be a quitter. Who cares if you continue? Be unexpected, be non dependable, be the person who is unreliable. You don't, that's ridiculous. You don't tell people that. The reason I'm bringing that up is because it's literally, it is in our, figuratively, it's in our DNA to once we commit to something, to stick to it, to follow through. And so the hardest part is getting people to commit to you. Once you get people to commit to you, there's some obligation within them that they say, man, I want to continue my commitment. I want to follow through on my commitment. And if they don't, they're going to know about it. It's going to bug at them. It's going to rip at them. It's going to nag and pull and tuck at them because people want to stick to their commitments. They want to be reliable. They want to be dependable. They want to be logical. They want to be rational. They want to be trustworthy. They want to be the person you can depend on. And so play to that psychological trigger and get it on your side by allowing them to commit to something really small and then build on that commitment. That's why we set 15-minute phone appointments first and not an in person buyer's consultation. You respond fast, but you can't respond too fast. This is a little counterintuitive. If you respond too quickly to an online lead, what are they going to think? What are they going to think? If a lead comes in and you send them a text message or you robocall them within like 2 seconds, what is that person going to think? And why are they not going to respond? And Giselle said ATF. Yeah, heck yeah, you're going to run away from me if I come up to you and say, would you marry me? You're going to think I'm a creep and you're not going to be there, right? Bot, you're exactly right, Chuck. They're going to think you're a bot. They're going to think that it's a bot and it's a robocall. And that's not going to work. It just doesn't work nearly as well as when you prove to people that you are a real person. That's why one of the ways that you can get a 15% increase in your response rate when you text message people is to say this really odd and weird thing. It's really, really odd. It's weird. I know it seems weird to you. It doesn't seem weird to the home buyer. It's to say, yes, a real person. If you include these four words, you're going to get a 15% increase in your response rate. Because when a new lead comes in, think about it. They're on Facebook, they're on Realtor.com, Zillow, whatever. They're doing their thing. They're in their jam, worried about their own day, and they respond to your ad, and then they automatically get this text message. And every other time they've done that, they've gotten a robocall. Every other time they've done that, they've gotten a bot. When you do that, what are they going to do? They're going to pattern match and they're going to say, this time is just like all the other times. I'm not going to respond this time the same way I didn't respond the other times. So if you let people know you're a real person, you're going to get a 15% response rate, increase in your response rate. Send a video second, not first. Send a video second, not first. Um, I'm going to show you a case study in a second about this, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Um, so I'm not going to dive into it right now. And then you got to think about this. You need to make it so easy to respond to you that Granny can do it on her iPhone because it's simple. And even if she makes a mistake, she still gets the answer right. Granny can do it on her iPhone. She can do it on her Android for those of you Google folks, right? You can do it. She's so simple because you lower the barrier to entry, you lower the friction points there, right? And so this is a great first question to ask. A great first question to ask. How many bedrooms are you looking for? How do I know this is a great first question? I'm going to tell you how I know. Number one, my company, Smart Alto, send millions and millions and millions of text messages every single month. Millions and millions and millions of text messages to home buyers and sellers all around the US and Canada every single month. We have data on this. We have data on what questions we ask first because we split test things and we say we'll put 1,000 people through this, 1,000 people asking them this first question, 1,000 people asking them this first question. This question right here, how many bedrooms are you looking for, gets a much better response rate than other questions that we've asked. Some of them get decent response rate. This question gets much better response rates. My hypothesis around this is because how many buttons does someone have to press to answer this question? Think about it, right? You're talking about a toddler, you're talking about the middle child, you're talking about granny who wants simplicity, a toddler who wants things right now. When you send someone this text message, how many buttons does grandma have to press in order to answer your question? Adam said, why not city first with the new 15-mile radius? How many, I'm gonna ask you this, Adam. How many buttons does a person have to press in order to answer this question? Chuck said one button. Yeah, you're right, Chuck. They got to press one button. Two, really. They got to press the button and then they got to press send. And that's it. And Adam, the question, what city are you in? That question, Adam, is more about you, not about them. That question is for you to qualify them, not about them. People want to talk to you about what they want to talk to you about, not what you want to talk to them about. You see that? So when the lead comes through and you say, what city are you in? That question is about you, not about them. They don't care that it was a 15-mile radius on the Facebook lead ad. I don't have any idea, right? They don't know. And they got to work too hard. They're like, why are you asking me that? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm in West Palm Beach. Like, what city are you in? I'm in West Palm. Where are you? Right? What city do you want to purchase in? Yeah, you can ask them that question, but not as the first question. Not as the first question. We got a lot of good answers here. Kaylee, what's going on? How you doing? Great to see you, Kaylee. Great to meet you. I don't think I know you. Great to see you, Kaylee. Jennifer, yes, one. Yep, one or two. Both of those, I'll take both those answers. Chuck, Giselle, yep. Adam, I answered that. Deborah, if they don't reply to text, how long do you wait to send videos? I get that question a lot. I'm going to answer that in a bit, so stay on, okay? Don't let me forget. I'm going to come back to that. When I talk and doing the case study, I'm going to talk about that. Oh, so comment below if you want the exact text message that we send because when a new lead comes through, you can't just send the text message and say, how many bedrooms are you looking for? You got to add some context to that. So if you want the exact text message that we send, then comment below. And after this, I will send it to you. Now, one of the things that happens is a lot of people who have to watch the replay, they come back and they say, hey, man, could you send this to me? Unfortunately, I'm doing this for people who are on the live. The reason I say that is because, wow, like it's a lot of people who come back and say that they want it. And so what I may do is actually make it available to a couple of people who say they want it afterwards. But so Michelle, Graham, Adam, I will send it to you. Yes, Joseph. Joseph, if am I saying your name right? You want to see the exact text message? Am I saying your name right? Joseph, like that name. Okay, great. Great. Perfect. Perfect. I see these responses. I will definitely send them to you. Please send Kaylee, yes, you'll get it. Oh, great, Joseph. Great. Where are you from, Joseph? Interested to know that. Let me know where you're from. Buffy, can I have the text message you send? Yes. Buffy, where are you from? I don't think we have spoken before, Buffy. Where are you from? Okay, comment below. You'll get the text message we sent. Okay, great. So I'll send that to you. And even if you comment after, I'll make sure you get it. So you can ignore my advice, but don't ignore my results. And so now we're going to hop into a case study. You all know that I'm a data geek. I love like showing results because there's so many people who who talk about things but don't actually have proof and results. So I love showing results. I'm human. Like I screw up all the time. I don't care. I test a lot of stuff. I try a lot of stuff. And, sometimes it doesn't work. But you know what? Sometimes it does. And when it does, I double down on that crap and I do it. And then I learn. And so I've taken a lot of heat in the past for spent a lot of money making mistakes so you don't have to. So you don't have to make these mistakes, right? I run a venture-backed company. We got a lot of money. We can make some expensive mistakes, and so that you don't have to. And so this is a case study of someone who, by the way, in full transparency, I don't know. I've met Ren Nix, but I don't know her. We've met, we spoke. She was on a Facebook live training that I did a couple of days ago. Um, and quite literally, after she was on the Facebook live, after the Facebook live, she implemented what I suggested and she got results. Literally, right after the Facebook live, she implemented it and she got results, and she showed the proof of that. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this case study. So she is a realtor in Boise, Idaho. Um, she's a very sweet person, by the way. She attended the session 3 days ago. She gets 100 plus Facebook leads a month. I believe she's using the list of homes ad. Um, I don't know that for certain. I have it somewhere in my notes, I think, but I believe she's using list of homes. She told me out front, she's like, I'm not afraid to cold call, and she's comfortable being on camera. So, Deborah, I'm going to show you, uh, because in the example that she shared, Deborah, there is a video text message. You're going to see. She said that her biggest problems are she's busy and she doesn't have time to consistently follow up with leads. She's always at the showings or at the closing table because she makes money. Like she closes deals. She's a hustler. You can tell when you talk to her on the phone. She's a hustler. She actually reminds me a lot of you, Susie. Like you can tell when you talk to her, like she's on it. like like she is there. She has it going on. So she made a really good impression on me. ATF. Um, she texts us first with big philosophical questions. She always does that. She texts us first with like these big philosophical questions, and she's been testing some other things, like split testing other things, trying to see what works. And so what I shared with her is what I just shared with you. I said, hey, it was like a Q&A section, I think, and people were asking, they were like, hey, what question should I ask first? And I said, ask people how many bedrooms do they want first, because everyone knows how many bedrooms they want. They think about that all the time. They know they want a 3 bedroom 2 bath. They know they want a 5 bedroom 7 bath. They know what they want, and it's really easy for them to answer that question. They got to press two buttons: three, send; five, send; seven, send. They got to press two buttons to answer your question. Ask people that question first. You're going to get great results. You're going to improve your results. She did that, right? So here's the text message that she sent the first time. A lead came through and she sent the text message. What's your time frame for moving? You can't read this, so I'm going to read it. It says, hi, Lonnie. This is Ren Nix from Amherst, Madison. I'm a real person. It's interesting that she put that in there. That's a really interesting. I did not tell her to do that. She did that anyway, which is brilliant. Thank you for requesting the homes list. That's what makes me think she's sending a list of homes. It should be in your inbox shortly. So I can best help you. What is your time frame for moving? And then she sent the video. Deborah, can you see this video? She sent the video here. Rochelle, yes, you can have the list too. Please and thank you. Yes, you can definitely have the list. She sent the list. I mean, she sent it. She sent the video. Deborah, if you're still there, can you see this little video that she sent here? All right. She sent the video to this person. This person did not respond to the text message. Crickets. No response. Nothing. You see, the lead came in, or she responded to this person at 10:18 p.m. I don't know when the lead came in, but she responded pretty late at night. So I would think that the lead came in pretty late at night. Because if the lead didn't come in at late at night, why would you be texting them at 10 o'clock at night? So I would assume this person came in pretty late at night and she was trying to respond quickly to him. And she sent this text message. I'm going to read it again. Hi, Lonnie. This is Ren Nix with Amherst Madison. I'm a real person. This is a real text. Thank you for requesting the homes list. It should be in your inbox shortly so I can best help you. What is your time frame for moving? What's wrong with that question? What is wrong with that question? Tell me. What's wrong with that question? Now, I'm going to share with you. This is before, right? We're doing a before and after. Before she asked the question, what's your time frame for moving? She came to the Facebook Live. She came to the Facebook Live. She stayed into the Q&A. Somebody asked a question. I gave some advice. She implemented that advice. She asked the question, how many bedrooms are you looking for? This was days later when she sent this text message. How many bedrooms are you looking for? The person responded immediately and said, three bedroom, big garage for boat with storage or ship, have four trailers to park on site. A shop and garage would be great. So this person did not respond to what's your time frame for moving. But when she asked how many bedrooms are you looking for, the person responded with their entire life, which is odd, by the way. Normally that doesn't happen. But this person wanted to talk, but you were like, when's my time frame for moving? I don't know. Like I'm just looking, or I don't know. Like my goodness, I don't know. I gotta talk to my wife about that. Hey, baby, when do you wanna? When are we doing this again? 18 months? Do we have to wait after with income tax season? So to get the like when? I don't know. Like, but when you ask me how many bedrooms am I looking for, crap, three. Three bedroom, big garage. And then now he's telling you all these things. Lonnie is telling you all this stuff. Lonnie is telling you all this stuff. This is what she wrote. This is what she wrote. She posted this in the Facebook group. Renix, what? This is again. She watched the Facebook live that I had, and she posted in the comment section. And see, she said, "Watch to the end, folks. The whole video is a gold mine, and Hassan May Riggs really delivers in the Q&A. I'm fired up now. My nugget was about PPS. Who knows what PPS stands for? I'm going to be so impressed if you know what PPS stands for. I'm buried I'm buried in Whitley leads. Awesome problem. And struggling to get the initial response. Hassan showed me that my first question is too hard. Switch to how many bedrooms are you looking for? And boom, work the first time. Listen, ignore my advice, but don't ignore my results. You can ignore my advice all you want to. That's perfectly fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I have data to prove what I talk about works, but it's up to you to implement it. Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. You can ignore my advice, but don't ignore my results, right? Don't ignore her results. Don't ignore her results. Crap, she did it. She texts the person. I'm gonna read this again. Watch to the end, folks. The whole video is a gold mine, and Hassan May Riggs really delivers in the Q&A. I'm fired up now. My nugget was about PPS. I'm buried in Whitley leagues. Awesome problem, and struggling with getting the initial response. Hassan showed me that my first question is too hard. Switch to how many bedrooms are you looking for, and boom, work the first time. Look at that. Work the first time. Who would have thunk? What does PPS stand for? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a hint. We talked about it earlier today in this video. I don't think I mentioned it, but it's definitely on the Fortune framework. And if you've watched some of those videos in the training units, or you visited if you watched some of my training before and you've heard about the Fortune framework, you know what PPS stands for. I'm really excited. You're going to make my Valentine's Day if you know what PPS stands for. We've talked about this a bunch. Fortune Framework. The Fortune Framework. What does PPS stand for? I don't even, I just met Ren. Ren knows what PPS stand for. She knows what PPS stand for. I've been knowing you all for a long time. You're going to hurt my heart if you don't know what PPS stands for. It's on the Fortune Framework. D cubed. D cubed. No, Giselle, not postscript. Ah, you got jokes. D cubed. Desire, direction, and discipline. Desire, direction, and discipline. Sales and marketing. Test, iterate, duplicate. Think about this, leads. Are you getting a lot of leads? PPS. If you're getting a lot of leads, but your conversions are low, you need PPS. People, process, people, principles, and systems. You need people, principles, and systems in order to improve your conversions. You need people, principles, and systems in order to improve your conversions. If you're getting a bunch of leads and very low conversions, you need people, principles, and systems in order to improve your conversions. And you can't give people systems without principles because you've just given them chaos. If you give people a CRM, but you don't give them principles on how to operate that CRM, you've just given them chaos. It's going to be crap because data in is going to be data out. You're not going to have good reporting. You're not going to be able to track what people are doing because you don't have any principles associated with it. That's why when we qualify leads, we use the Banter principle because it's a principle so our entire team knows how to qualify leads. It's the North Star. Principles allow you, even if you don't know, even if someone asks you a question you're not quite sure, you can use the principle as your North Star to guide you in the right direction. Your business is based on principles, it's based on values, it's based on core things. Because you can't possibly ask people or think about every iteration of what's going to happen. You need values and principles to guide folks. So PPS, people, principles, and systems. And so you can either you develop like hire your own people, develop your own principles, use your own systems, or you can use a company like Smart Alto and you can use our people, our principles, our systems in order to convert leads. Up to you. But you got to have it. It's mission critical in your business, right? So now I'm gonna talk about this. This is like an added thing I just did this morning because I wanted to provide some additional value to you. Um, the people I know who make the most money in real estate, the folks I know who are truly building wealth, they're not just getting rich, but they're building wealth in real estate. They've been doing it for a long time. They get a lot of business from past referrals. They get a lot of business from new online leads. People they don't even know feel like they sit down with them and they're having a great time. Let me go grab a beer with you. Like I just feel like I know you. Wow, you just so. That's how I met. That's how I felt when I first met Susie. Susie, do you remember me telling you that? Do you remember the first time we talked? We talked for like an hour and a half. Do you remember that? And I was like, wow. It was just such a good it was just such a good conversation. We talked about your son who's in college. We talked about where you were from, where you grew up. We talked about all this stuff. And it's because you're great at taking people from transactional to relational. And those are the people who win in local services because relationships win. People who know how to build relationships in this business, they truly win. And so your EQ needs to be greater than your IQ. I went to some fancy schools, but you don't need to go to fancy schools in order to win in life. You don't. There's a lot of people who go to fancy schools and they suck at life because they don't know how to relate to people. And they don't realize that we're all humans selling to humans who have human needs. We're all humans selling to humans who have human needs. We're all humans selling to humans who have human needs. You need to connect with people. Your EQ needs to be greater than your IQ. Your EQ is your emotional intelligence. You need to know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, to connect with people, to make them feel connected, to bond with them. And so, one of the ways you can do that is following up with people during moments of impact, on events, special moments. 4th of July, Thanksgiving, MLK Day, Valentine's Day, you follow up with people. This is what I'm giving to you as a gift today. This is the $60,000 text message. One of our clients sent this to 200 leads, set 8 appointments, closed 4 deals, totaling $60,000. This doesn't say anything about buying or selling a house. What's your favorite dish for Thanksgiving dinner? She sent this to 200 leads, set 8 appointments, closed 4 deals, totaling $60,000, and it doesn't say anything about buying or selling a house. What it does is starts a conversation and moves people from transactional to relational. And if you don't remember anything else about this today, remember this slide: transactional versus relational. You need to be great at moving people from transactional to relational. And if you can understand that core principle, that foundational principle, you're going to start asking questions that make it easy for people to respond to you. You're going to start asking questions more about them and less about you. You're going to start asking questions, understanding that you're a human selling to humans who have human needs. You're going to start bonding with people. You're going to let your emotional intelligence take over. You're going to become okay when you make a mistake. And people are going to be okay when you make a mistake. They're going to be perfectly okay because you're human selling to humans who have human needs. It's going to be perfectly okay. You're just going to be able to bond with people and just be yourself. And the people who you're going to attract and repel people, you're going to attract people who bond with you, and you're going to repel people who don't. But you're going to be authentic, you're going to be yourself, and you're going to win in this business. This is a text message you can send to people. What's your favorite dish for Thanksgiving dinner? This text message sent on Thanksgiving is what we call internally the $60,000 text message. It doesn't say anything about buying or selling a house. Nothing about buying or selling a house. Just what's your favorite dish for Thanksgiving dinner? People respond with macaroni and cheese, cornbread stuffing, turkey, dressing. One person responded, I only eat chocolate for Thanksgiving. It's a holiday tradition. It's a family tradition. I only eat chocolate for Thanksgiving. He ended up buying a $500,000 house. Eat whatever you want to eat, man. I'll get Jeff Bezos to drop ship you some some chocolate next Thanksgiving, you know? So ignore my advice, but don't ignore my results. Finally, before we go, I'll say one of my goals this year is to write for Fast Company or Inc. magazine. So I'll ask that if you have enjoyed this presentation, please review me on Google. Review this presentation specifically on Google. If you've liked it, if you've gained something from this presentation, just something really short. Great presentation, Hassan, on how to get a response from online leads. Something really simple, short like that would make a huge help. My goal is to write for Fast Company or Inc. magazine. My strategy for doing that is to increase A, write really good content, and B, increase my social presence. And then my metrics for doing that, am I winning or losing, is ultimately, am I getting, or are people responding to me and allowing me to write for them? So that's what we got today. Um, Hopefully, you've thought this was a valuable conversation. Um, I know I've had a great time chatting with you. Um, it's been fantastic for me. I wanted to take a moment and really share these things with you. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? If you did, let me know. I will be happy to know kind of what you learned. What did you take from it? What was like your one key takeaway? I know who was it? Ren said that she got PPS. That was the conversation that I did. A presentation I did. She got PPS from it. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate it. Joseph, thank you. Rochelle, thank you. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Thank you. I would appreciate if you would review me on Google. I'll put a link in the chat box later. In the Facebook Live later. Please show Ren's video. I actually don't have her video, Michelle. She posted that in another group. She didn't send me that text message. She posted that video in another group. But you are, Michelle, I'll tell you this. If you look at Ray Jeffries. If you search, if you're in the real estate marketing mastermind group and you search Ray Jeffries or Ashley Morello, they have both put video text messages in their their video text messages in a chat in a web in like a comment or something. Ray Jeffries and Ashley Morello, they've both done that because we talked about this a lot about 6, 8 months ago. And so if you go look there, um, go ahead. As a matter of fact, Michelle, after this, I'm gonna go find it and I'll find it and then tag you. Okay? If you are you still there, Michelle? I'm talking to you like you're still there. I don't even know if you're still there. If you're still there, I'll tag it and find you. I'll find the video and tag you. Chuck, good stuff. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Deborah, Tina. Please remember to send me the text message. I would gladly appreciate that. No problem. I will do it. Send me a text message, please. How does the group work? How does the group work, please? Thanks. Melina, I'm not sure I understand what you mean. How does the group work? Uh, Tony, thank you. I'm glad you think it's valuable. Tony, I would appreciate um, if you would just review me. That would be great. Danny, do you know if it's a pre-recorded video? Oh, great question. So I did talk to her about that. Most of them are pre-recorded. If she's out at a showing or something, she sends the and she's busy, she sends a pre-recorded video. If she is not busy, then she sends like a personal video. She takes these video from her phone, folks. This is not overproduced. This is not highly produced stuff. She literally just pulls out her iPhone and she says, "Hi, my name is Ren. I'm at 123 Realty and blah blah blah." Right? So it's not highly produced. Don't overthink this. Don't overthink it. Really simple stuff that we do. This is a relationship-driven business. You allow your emotional intelligence to take over. Don't overthink it. Shoot a quick video. Don't let it be the first text message you send though. Use the principles that you've learned in this video to send your first message, and then as a second message, you can send a follow-up video text message. It's fine. But whatever you do, make sure you track the results. If it's worth doing, it's worth measuring. If it's worth doing, it's worth measuring. Okay. So I'll be around. Does anyone have any questions? Let me kind of take a break and see if you have any questions. If you do, then I'll answer them. And if not, then I'll hop in and I got a couple of things to do. I'm going to send the people who requested it the first text message that we send. So if you want the first text message we send, be sure to put that in the chat. The second thing I'm going to do is tag Michelle and somebody else asked me to tag them and Deborah. I'm gonna tag Michelle and Deborah with the video that Ray Jeffries and Ashley Morello had. And I think that's it. No questions. So we're good. All right, I'm signing off. Again, my name is Hassan Riggs, founder, CEO at Smart Alto. I appreciate you taking time today. I have personally set over 10,000 real estate appointments. I've spoken at NAR, Inman, writer for Forbes about real estate marketing, real estate technology trends. And this has been streaming live in the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind group. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Review me. If you want to know how Smart Alto can help set 15-minute phone appointments for you and your business, quite literally put them on your calendar so you can close more deals, then reach out to me, shoot me a message, put it in the chat, and I will be sure to get that done. All right. So thanks, folks, and I will be around in the chat. So if you still have questions, then just ask those away. Talk to you soon. Bye.